European Club Finals. On the pitch, you are watching Gravity from Dublin, Ireland in white take on SUFC Valkyria from Sweden, who are in the green. Dublin Gravity started on offense. They have just scored a point to open this first the game. My name is Ali Thomas. I am joined in the booth by Sean Colfer. Sean, what are your thoughts on this game?
Morning, Ali. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good one. These two teams have both been impressive so far, as evidenced by the fact they've reached the semi-finals. Valkyria, kind of a new name on the scene. Certainly in terms of outdoors, they've been an indoor team for a long time, but now they are at the EUCF for the first time. They've not been to Euros on grass before, or turf in this case. Whereas Gravity, this is their second time in the semi-finals in 2 tournaments. They're here in EUCF 2019. They finished 4th there, and they are focused on going one better here.
So we've had a very rainy week and a slightly unpredictable week in terms of how the women's games actually shook out. Some teams were told that their game, which they thought was going to be a powerful game, was actually a quarter. So both of these teams had tougher quarters than I think they imagined. And as we're seeing Valkyria start to move it up the pitch through Gravity's zone. Swinging it nicely. That's Eklund. She's been a huge asset to this team thus far the tournament. Utilising the width of the pitch. Back to Eklund. Nice little give and go from the handlers. That's Vernita. Swings all the way across the pitch to Melnikova. Getting very close to the end zone now. But it looks like just a simple throwaway. Disc perhaps slipping out of her hands, and Gravity have a chance to break.
Yeah, strange turnover. It looked as though that Valkyria are dealing with that zone quite nicely. Gravity, who have a variety of different zones that they play, that they employ to slow people down and get turns. It looked like Valkyria were working it through, but strange turnover, and Gravity have got a chance for a break now.
So Gravity had a good chance to practice their zone against the formidable opponents of Yaka yesterday. So any kind of weaknesses will have been very much exposed and hopefully worked on. And that's a lovely cut up the line from Sinead Dunn. Looks long. And it's going to be fielded by Morgan. Huge cheer from the Gravity women, and that is a break.
Yeah, huge break really early in the game. Good to get a 2-point lead, obviously. But Sinead Dunn has been one of the main defensive handlers for this team, along with Claire Gilheeney all tournament, and it's a fantastic upline cut. Gilheeney finds her up the line, and a great shot to the end zone from Dunn. It's a fantastic start for Gravity.
Yeah, couldn't ask for a better start than that. For those of you just joining in on YouTube, this game is going to be 45 minutes long, or rather with a soft cap of 45 minutes. All of the bronze medal match games have been condensed as they only have one field available. The rest of them have turned into a bit of a mud bath. So just for the health of the pitches and the safety of the players, we've moved everything onto this Astro, which is also quite soggy, to be fair, but at least will not be damaged.
Yeah, a lot of excess water over on the far side from where the cameras are. Also worth noting, which we discovered in the last bronze medal game and didn't know at the time, if these games are not within 1 when that 45-minute time cap goes on, they will just be ended at the end of the point. So even if you got scored on, you still might win.
Gosh. Yeah, very tight schedule today. I think there's something about 5-10 minutes between games maximum, and that's a very nice shot through the middle. Valkyria getting it moving. That's Resna Kaita on the near sideline. Gravity look like they're still sticking with a kind of poachy set, not fully a zone. That's Eklund, dishes it off, gets the pass back. Eklund, her sister, we have 2 Eklunds on this team. Both making a huge impact this weekend. Melnikova swings to the middle. That's Vernita. Looking into the end zone, there's a lot of movement. Dished it back to Eklund. And Eklund with a bladey flick. Oh, goes to ground, but it's just too fast for Sarah Eklund.
Sarah Eklund, the centre of this Valkyria offense, very heliocentric. She's really the heart and soul of what they do. She's an incredible athlete, as we see from that layout bid there. Melnikova has been really important for Valkyria as well throughout the tournament. Her handling has really set the tone for them. She is one of the founders of Valkyria when they became a club, a women's team that played indoors mainly about, I think it was about 10 years ago, they told me. So she says that now she's played grass Euros with Valkyria, she is formally allowed to retire. So it's a nice story.
That is a very sweet story, and what a way to come as a club. And that's a very nice shot from O'Neill, and an even nicer one. It's going to be floating. Oh, gosh. That looked tough. I think that's Kundalaita getting a faceful of the gravity player. She was tracking the disc over her head and so slammed straight into Linehan. Thankfully, they both look okay. Tough cookies, both of them.
I think there might be discussion about a foul here, but to be honest, it would be a difficult foul call. They're both looking at the disc, and I think they're both entitled to be going for that space. Linehan having to come back because the throw from Dunn not quite getting the distance she wanted. It looks as though Linehan has retracted any call, and we are going for a turnover. And like you say, Ellie, thankfully they both look fine. Yeah,
from the way she fell to the ground, Kundalaita, it looked like it could have been much, much worse. So Valkyria dump it back into their own end zone. That's Melnikova. A lot of players around the disc. Nice arcing hammer. Oh, and a simple throwaway. Gravity have the disc very near their end zone, looking to capitalize immediately, but snatched away by Sarah Eklund. Dishes off to Melnikova. Melnikova's looking for Eklund deep. And again, another miscommunication. And we've got some loud, oh gosh, just too far out in front. And it seems like both teams are starting to get a little bit jittery.
Yeah, it's been a bit frantic, this offense, hasn't it? We've seen some turnovers that have unforced. Eklund threw one away. That throw there from Gilhini just too far away. People are open, but it's just a case of trying to move the disc a little bit too quickly and brain and body not quite syncing up.
Especially with a wet disc. There is a gentle rainfall pittering on our tent, making the disc just that much harder to keep in hand. And this is smothering from Gravity Zone, forcing Valkyria to take up a high floaty shot. It's taken down by Eklund. Nice lead pass upfield. Very near the end zone. We've got Sophia Eklund right on the end zone line. It's another bladey flick into space. This time able to be fielded by Sarah Eklund. And that is the first point on the board for Valkyria.
Yeah, Leanne O'Neill just trying to get over there to contest, but it was a nice throw from Eklund to Eklund. And when Sarah Eklund has space in the end zone, putting it up in the air is never a bad idea.
We've seen some very indoorsy style play from Valkyria. Hammers and scubas and blades galore. And when you've got the height and when the conditions allow it, it's devastating. Yeah,
in their semi-final yesterday against Kubschalt, later on in the game they started playing a bit more of an indoor style game. They were throwing some overheads and they looked great, and they were really working through. You can tell they've drilled it and they know each other really well. There's some really good chemistry between these players when they're throwing throws like that, and it was, when it was coming off, it looked fantastic. So
yeah, super exciting to watch all that spice. That's a big pull from Claren. Fielded. Gravity in a vertical setup. That's Gilhini on the disc. Looking backwards. Gets it off, fakes the inside. Uh-oh, well chased down by Sutherland, going to ground to get it, just to make sure she didn't have to make a very low catch near her ankles. Gets it off to Doyle. Doyle to Fleming. Fleming looking for up the line. And she finds Gilhini, who leaps over the end zone line for another Gravity score.
Yeah, Anya Gilhini, captain of this team, has been huge for them all weekend. She's usually known for throwing scores, but this weekend she's done a great job of collecting them as well. And Sinead O'Shiel Fleming finds some space on the sideline. Nice, easy throw in. That's the kind of offense that Gravity like. They like to be moving the disc onto that break side, but moving it quickly. And O'Shiel Fleming, great throw to the end zone. Gilhini for the score. So 3-1 lead for Gravity.
Those upline cuts from Gravity are so good, and their ability of the dumps to kind of duke out the defender and then charge up the line, getting it in momentum, served them really well in all the games I've seen them do it.
Yeah, Gilhini and Barron both like that movement. Helen Barron, the other handler for that Gravity O-line, they both like that movement. They do it a lot, and even though defenders at this point must know it's coming, it's just so difficult to stop when they execute it so perfectly.
You can't cover everything, as they always say. So Gravity sticking with their zone that I've seen them play all tournament. Resna Keita throws a blady flick over to Eklund. Eklund Van Eiter dishing it between themselves. Van Eiter with a big swing to Melnikova. Gets it upfield. Back to Melnikova. And a lovely arcing shot over to the other side of the pitch, really making this Gravity zone run and work. Not able to find much upfield. Van Eiter back to Eklund. Eklund to Melnikova. Oh, looking for a shot through the middle. Oh, finds an IO. Well kept in play by the number 61, Kundalaita. But this Gravity zone is really forcing the Valkyria side to make a lot of passes. It's all a lot of very lateral movement, only gaining a yard or so at a time. Oh, fakes the hammer. On the far sideline now with Eklund. She wants the IO shot. She tries to get it, but the cup's just... And a turnover! The more passes you make, the higher a chance it is that one of them is not going to be completed. And there it is.
Yeah, Claire Gilhini getting a hand in there and forcing that turnover with the arrowhead this time from Gravity. We saw kind of an FSU look earlier in the game. They're really using different zones and making Valkyria think about different things and doing a really good job of it.
It's going to be just too far out in front for Emily O'Brien. And that's got to be tough for Gravity, knowing they have to set their zone again and keep running against this patient Valkyria side. Yeah,
Emily O'Brien going deep. She's also the chase in this zone, so really putting her legs on the line in this point.
Yeah, I mean, they all look a little bit tired. This has been a long point, and a hammer goes up. It's caught on the far side of the field, but the zone catches up. Oh, huge bid from Emily O'Brien, who's still got legs. Shame on us for saying she's tired. Valkyria moving the disc very quickly, fakes the big put. Eklund looking for a dump back. Gets a sharp blade off to Melnikova. And it's that same sideline. Oh, but not able to keep it in. It's bobbled out of the sideline by Kundalaita, and Gravity with another shot.
Yeah, they've been throwing some spice, and then it's a turnover on one of the more vanilla throws. It's just a flat backhand into the end zone. Kundalaita can't reel it in. So another shot for the Gravity D-line offense.
Oh, what a bid! Oh my God, absolutely incredible. And Conservation of Greatness strikes again. And Pareja Slavec is going to be back in the cup. Looking upfield, it's another big blading throw. Not opting for, oh, and it's just a simple, very short flick. Gravity immediately looking to lash it long, but there's nobody there for it.
Yeah, Claire Gilhini looks like just playing Huck and D, pick it up and go, as we see that layout catch. But Gravity clearly just want to play this game in Valkyria's half. Not necessarily too much more sophisticated than let's get it down there. If you can go the whole length of the field, then fair play to you, but we are going to make you go the whole length of the field.
And we're going to run our own players very hard doing it as a huge shot goes up, looking for Sarah Eklund, who collects. And that is a break for Valkyria.
Yeah, nice and quick, considering how long that point was when they got the disc back on that last possession. They worked over to the far side, big flick out, Sarah Eklund catching in the end zone, as she does so well. But Gravity's D-line will be feeling pretty good about that point, I think. They had a lot of chances. They know they're getting turns. All they need to do is start converting a couple of them. They already have one break, and one more could make a huge difference in this shortened game.
Certainly, and as we saw in the previous one, the men's bronze medal match, if it takes you a little while to kind of wake up and get moving, and, you know, we've seen some teams, they take a little bit longer to get into games. You know, we're already 15 minutes in. We're a third of the way through the game, but neither team has necessarily pulled away. Pretty level. And both teams with pretty similar roster sizes, and in a short game such as this, you know, fatigue isn't necessarily going to be as much of a factor.
No, I think with the prospect of a bronze medal on the horizon for Valkyria, it would be a real confirmation of their place at Europe's top table, and for Gravity, they will be the first Irish team or Irish club team to win a medal. We saw Ranelagh trying to do that in the last game, unsuccessful against Gensel, but Gravity looking to improve on their 4th place in 2019.
And that's a beautiful up-line shot. Well, the cut, rather. The throw itself, unfortunately, has too much IO and will sail out of bounds. And are Gravity going to set their zone? No. So we get to see a bit of match defense from the Irish ladies. Swing to the middle of the field. Oh, and that had some zip on it. Looked like it came out of the hand of Frank a little bit later than intended. Gravity with a chance round about the brick mark. That's the number 59, Gilheany, picking up. We've said her name a lot already. She gets the disc again after cutting across the front of her dump. She has an up line, prefers the swing round instead. It's Doyle off to Gilheany. Nice little give and go from Gilheany, but she's well marked out until she isn't. Manages to get behind the back and into the end zone.
Yeah, kind of a 3-person weave there for Gravity. Gilheany, Jess Chambers out there as well. He's had a fantastic tournament for them, and a nice little fake spin around on the mark. Gilheany found herself with a bit of room in the front corner, and it is 4-2.
So Gravity maintaining their lead.
Looked as though Eklund, or not Eklund, sorry, it's Saskia Bake bit under on that fake from Gilheany, thinking the throw was coming up. Bake comes under to try and get the block, and Gilheany just goes right past her into the end zone.
As I said earlier, you can't cover everything, but you can certainly try. We've got quite a big sideline you can will have been seeing on the far side of the pitch. Both Swedish and Irish chants alternating. As a huge pull. It's going to hang in the air. Be fielded by Van Eiter. There's a call on the field. Foul is being motioned. Looks like a bit of discussion.
It looks tactically as though Gravity have gone back to this FSU. Those handle marks are a lot tighter than they were in the last point. So we saw an arrowhead with the one force and the two kind of just off, limiting the throws to the middle of the field in the last point from Gravity. But those handle marks are a lot tighter. It looks more like an FSU here.
Trying to force Valkyria to take on those floaty hammers, big blading shots, which take a long time to get to their receiver. And this was some fierce defense from Gravity. Gets the turn. That dump defense was excellent. And it's picked up by Gilheany, who shoots to the inside, grabbed with one hand by O'Neill. Decisive fakes. The stall count's rising. And shoots a low one onto the open side. Gravity are up 5-2. That is Sinead Dunn with the score. They're looking pretty good.
They are looking really good. I think there's the zones, the different ways that they can limit the field, like you say on that last point, Ali. The defense on the handlers was absolutely fantastic, and Gilheany is doing such a good job on this D-line, being that middle, whether they play an FSU, an Arrowhead, whatever zone they decide to employ. She's the one who is the furthest forward of the downfield defenders. She's getting into the middle. She's messing up the handle flow, stopping those cuts across the front that are so vital when you're playing zone offense. And then when it turns over, she's the one who's picking up the disc and making things happen. But that throw from Leanne O'Neill to Sinead Dunn, like you say, late in the stall count, but Gravity is just finding ways to keep cutting, keep getting open, and they're putting in these points with great efficiency at the moment.
Yeah, I will say it didn't look like the most structured end zone offense. There was a lot of movement, but at the end of the day, if someone is free and you can hit them, it doesn't necessarily matter how pretty it is. As Gravity look like they're out with their arrowhead again. Valkyria swing it quite quickly. Big blading shot up to Melnikova, and a hammer all the way onto the other side of the field to Sarah Eklund. Eklund dishes it back to Van Eiter. Van Eiter with another blade. Melnikova, beautiful hammer to Claren. And they're starting to move the disc very quickly now. Will they be able to get it all the way into the end zone? Momentum slowed slightly. Gravity staying in their zone. That's Beek. Looking for an option. Oh, big pivot, but it's going to sail over the fingers of Van Eiter. I think that this Gravity defense is really rattling the Swedes.
Yeah, it's just making them think a little bit longer than they used to, isn't it? And they were throwing those nice indoor throws, and then as we get closer to the end zone, a little bit of nervousness maybe, and it forces the error.
Oh, O'Neill immediately looking long to Emily O'Brien, who catches it for the score. That's one way to put it in your turns.
She's run around so much on that point, she can barely even celebrate, but it's a great throw from O'Neill to a great cut from Emily O'Brien, times it perfectly and reads it perfectly as well. It would look like there was two Swedes around trying to make it difficult, but she's the one who comes down with it.
Let's see O'Neill just walking up to the disc. She already knows what she's going to do.
It looked as though she even indicated to Emily O'Brien to go deep and then just lashes it to her.
Oh, just caught, plucked away from the Valkyria player. It looks like Gravity are trying to avenge Ranelagh and try and get some Irish silverware. Bronzeware.
Yeah, bronzeware, true. But yeah, they would be the first Irish club team to earn a medal at the European Championships. I apologise, I've been corrected by Benji. It's a very good point that Rebel Ultimate, who beat Hurd at the Nationals that year, so I should have, maybe I'm just blocking it out through spite. But Rebel did win a mixed a few years ago, but that would mean that this would be the first women's team to win a medal, to go along with the gold that the Irish women's team won in 2019 in Hungary.
First, yeah. So Valkyria managing to move it up to the halfway point without too much trouble. Beek throws a big hammer over the other side to Melnikova, gets it off to Eklund, fakes another hammer. It's another blade, Van Eiter. And that's a lovely round throw that's going to find, I think that's De Haske in the end zone.
Yeah, it was nice offense from the Swedes, working it around, finding the space eventually, going over and around the Gravity zone because they've been struggling so much to go through it. But that's the kind of point they need. Nice quick execution. Eklund hammer or blade opens up the field and they score quickly from there. But they're going to need a few more of those with 3 points down in a short game, and we've already seen half doesn't really make much of a difference here. You just keep playing, so they have not got a great deal of time to be coming back now.
Yes, and do excuse me, I think that was Resnikaita with the score, not De Haske. I think the that continuation down the break side was very, very fluid from Valkyria. They do have that kind of being able to find static players in space in a zone, but their continuation from stack cutting is also very nice. Got Sarah Eklund with the pull. Just landing out, will be bricked by Ina Gelhini. Very slow and purposeful walk to the brick mark, giving the Gravity women plenty of time to set up their cuts. And it's an immediate open and break side option but doesn't look to either of them. Looking to her dump instead. There's a lot of trust in Baron, but a stall out called. It did look like a sort of stall 9-10 throw. That's uncontested. It will be a turnover on the brick mark. And a bit of a gift to Valkyria.
Yeah, the gravity offense has been so efficient that it's surprising to see them not be able to get either a option upfield or a dump option that they were looking for. Like you said, there's a lot of trust in Baron just putting it up there. He has done that a few times in this tournament, just kind of popped it up and Baron's helped her out. But big chance now for Valkyria.
Oh, fakes the round, has the mark biting. Finds Eklund instead, fakes a blade, swings to the middle, and a beautiful break side continuation, almost in the end zone. It's Molly Robbins with the assist to, I think, Linda Ekborg. And just like that last point, they get the disc over onto the break side, swing it for the goal.
We didn't see Molly Robbins in the early part of this game. I don't think. I saw her on for, I think, a couple of points ago, and that was the first time I remember seeing her. She is a huge part of this team. She is the captain of the team. She's a really, really good player, has lived in Sweden for a number of years now, played for the Swedish women's team in Hungary, and when you can get that kind of player back and playing how she's playing, or how she has been playing all weekend, it makes a huge difference. And like you say, Ali, that's a quick score that Valkyria really needed.
So is it half at 6 then? They look like they're swapping ends.
Yeah, I assume it must be half, but again, this is a thing that we were not necessarily aware of before the game started, but I suppose with 45-minute games it makes sense to limit the score slightly.
Yes, I guess that would be a 22... No, I guess a 25-minute half-time cap, maybe?
I don't recall there being a half-time cap in the last game, but then it was difficult to tell. I think Ranelagh started out on D, and Gentle scored quite a few points and put Ranelagh on O a number of times in the middle section of the game, so there could have been a half somewhere in there. But
okay.
In any case, it looks as though we have had a half, and we're now switching ends.
And Gravity, having just conceded a point, are now having to pull to Valkyria.
Very strange setup with the short games here.
Yes, it feels almost like a hat tournament or something, these very short games. Gravity not with the arrowhead currently. I think sticking with a fairly honest match. But forcing middle, I think. So we've got Eklund on the far sideline. She finds Kundalaita in the middle. Dumps back to Van Eiter. Valkyria getting free on the open side. Swings to Van Eiter. Nice undercut from Kundalaita. Oh, and that's a high release backhand into space. Easily collected by Sarah Eklund. It just sailed over the defender's head and into her lap.
Yeah, Eklund again, another score, and Melnikova another assist. Melnikova and Eklund really dictating the terms of this Valkyria offense. They've been crucial all weekend, and they are proving to be so again here. But as you said, Ali, Gravity going with a match D, something they don't do all that often. We haven't seen all that much out of them considering how bad the conditions have been. And just left a little bit of space in the back corner there, but to be fair, it's a really, really good put from Melnikova. Put it where only Eklund can catch it. Much tighter now, 6-5. Got a game here.
Oh, yeah. Forcing middle near an end zone is very tricky because those shots through the middle are so much harder to guard against when you've got that much less pitch to work with. In my experience, anyway. So in the steady drizzle, see Gravity looking to put in their first point for 2 points. Baron looking up at her stack. She's got an under from Sutherland. Oh, gets it off. Therese Levaitz instead, past a bidding Valkyria player. Baron gets it with momentum. She's looking for the deep shot. Doesn't get it. Whew. Little pop off to Gilhini under a lot of pressure. He finds Fleming on the sideline. Fleming looking for another up the line cut. There's lots of duking and jiving. Oh, but snagged out of the air by a poaching Valkyria player. Is that Eklund again?
Yeah, Sarah Eklund was in the stack, but was looking down, looking at the disc the entire time. She did not look at her player once while O'Sheill Fleming had the disc, and as soon as that throw came out, she motors towards it and intercepts.
Got Valkyria very deep inside their own end zone. Still haven't quite managed to get out of it. Got a couple of players free at the front of the stack. And a big floaty disc from Kundalaita. An even floatier one. That's going to be caught by Molly Robbins for the equaliser.
Eklund to Robbins. When you've got players like that, that's the kind of thing you can do, but it's a really, really good point for Valkyria. That kind of poach intercept in the end zone and working it up with very efficient, very fluid offense. It looked like they were just cutting through gravity unencumbered there. It was really good, and we see now bidding Molly Robbins past Jess Chambers, but an impressive point for the Valkyria offense. They do seem to like to let it rip, don't they, Ali?
Yes, and I really think that might be what the gravity zone was trying to shut down, and their match D is potentially not as effective in containing those deep cuts. I feel like Molly Robbins very much earned that score after that bid, which she didn't get the disc.
Definitely. Big bid from Molly Robbins and an intercept from Sarah Eklund, and those two are the ones involved in the score. Some poetic justice in that.
So it looks like a timeout's been called, I imagine, by Gravity. I have no idea how many timeouts each team have. I'm sure they do. I'm hoping it's been communicated to them. My guess would be one each.
Seems like that would be sensible in a game like this. So not long left in this game now. I'm considering we're all even. It's has a kind of a feel of a training style game to 3 or something like that.
Well, a tight game is exactly what you want in a bronze medal match, and it's exactly what you're getting here on ULTI.TV's YouTube channel. For all of you watching, we would super appreciate it if you liked this video, commented, shared it with your friends, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and rung the bell to get notified every time we go live with more Ultimate content. So Eklund has not let go of the disc. It's going to pull for Valkyria. Slightly raucous noise from, I assume, a Swedish sideline. Oh, lovely break throw off to Sutherland. Doesn't like Linehan's cut under. Doesn't like Doyle's cut under. Oh, gets the dump off to Gilhini. And I think there's a travel call.
Yeah, looks like it's a travel call. I mean, a travel call on an open dump is one of those things that is not a call that I generally enjoy seeing, but I'm sure it's made in good faith, and Sutherland's feet did move.
And she gets a much better throw off than the dump pass, so thank you for calling the travel. We've got Linehan looking into the end zone, slightly crowded, quite flat setup from Gravity, and that throw is going to be too far for Gilhini.
Yeah, we see a kind of a switch of some lines here. Clearly Gravity wanted to stop the run and get this point. Linehan and Dunn both out there, usually D-line players for Gravity.
So we've got Valkyria in a horizontal setup. Seen mostly vert so far this game. And making very nice shapes on the pitch. Ooh, collected under intense pressure. And the Gravity ladies are there on the shoulder for every throw. Eklund on the disc, but there's a pick call on the field. And Melnikova will walk back to where she was.
Yeah, intense pressure from Gravity here, but they really need to get this back. It's been a great run by the Swedes. The Odin team on the sideline creating a lot of noise when they're not on the disc, and encouraging when they are, and their offense is looking really good at the moment.
Eklund gets it under. She's free all over the pitch. Well, she's been free all over the pitch so far this game. Kundaleiter gets it off to Van Eiter. Looks like the gravity. Oh, and a big shot goes up, but decisively D'd by Helen Barron, who gets up high to launch it out of the sideline.
Yeah, it looked like that throw didn't quite come out as she wanted, and Barron's able to steal in there. Eklund aiming for the end zone, probably not getting quite enough on it. Didn't reach Kundaleiter in time, and it's a nice D from Gravity. They've got another chance to put this offense in.
And Sutherland going deep. They're looking for the up the line. Oh, grabbed away by Dunn. Doyle dumps it off to Barron. Barron with a very nice gainer upfield past the bidding player to Chambers. Then gets it back off to Doyle. Oh, so fast from Dunn. Just tearing under. Doyle, Gravity are inching their way close to the end zone. Every pass is being contested or marked out by Valkyria, and a tiny little pass forward. Oh, but it's just behind Sinead Dunn, and she can't hold on to it. Really unfortunate for Gravity, as Eklund immediately takes off deep, but then jogs under. Oh, I thought that was coming. Huge wind up, but takes the under instead to Kundaleiter. Molly Robbins, but an out call. Oh, this comes back.
Yeah, the line, you can see the line just at the feet there. Looks as though Robbins did not see it when she caught it. She has been so crucial for them all tournament long, and she has given that one up and accepted that she was out by the time she had caught it. Was she juggling it when she got there?
Maybe. It looked like she just perhaps travelled out. Well, that's my perspective. So we've got Dunn. Gets it off to Linehan. Immediately follows up to Barron. Barron, big scooping fake. Swings round to Gilheeney. Barron completely poached. Gilheeney takes it on. And a nice under to Sutherland. Very close to the end zone now. Looking for that up the line. Is it going to be kept in? I think the Valkyria players are calling it out, as are some of the Gravity players. So it's a nice look. They're asking some of the sideline players for their opinion, and it's going to stay out. I think she's landing on the line there, sadly.
Yeah, it's very close, but it does look as though she's got the toe on the line. Doyle can't quite keep it in, and Gravity having a few problems when they get to the end zone line. Bit of end zone eyes here.
Oh, an immediate turnover from Valkyria. Gravity wasting no time. Gilheeney picks up, dumps back, and a round is towed in by the number 27, Jessica Chambers. She's been so good for Gravity so far. She's continuing to be so good for Gravity. And they take that point, which felt like it went on for quite a while.
It did go on for quite a long time. Great block from Anya Gilheeney to get the disc back, and Jess Chambers scored 5 points in the semi-final. Stacking up those stats here again in the bronze medal game.
I think she was the stat leader for that game, from what I remember, from both teams.
But it's clearly a close game. You can see both teams able to work the disc, but both teams getting a lot of pressure on the offense as well, and getting turns. It's a really competitive game to try and secure this bronze medal. Both teams really want it, and it seems as though Eklund has pretty much played every point so far for Valkyria. They're really leaning on her talents, and she has been fantastic in this game, fantastic in this tournament, and realistically fantastic for a number of years now. One of the best players in Europe.
Such a fit Valkyria side, being able to play for 3-4 points on the trot and still look absolutely dominant on the field. So that pull is going to just fall out of bounds. Will be bricked by Renata Verneiter, who's attempting to wipe the disc off a bit. Although I imagine her shirt is probably just as wet as the disc is.
Yeah, fool's errand, I think. I don't think that's going to work.
Slightly futile. Valkyria sticking with their horizontal look. Finds Eklund, or doesn't find Eklund rather. That's a huge mac from Gilhini, which is mopped up by Farnan. And Valkyria immediately looked deep after that miscue. But another D by Gilhini. Gravity have found an absolute fire on defense.
That's another great play from Anya Gilhini defensively. After just a miscue on offense, Flick came out too low, straight to the ground. Leanne O'Neill had no chance at that, but they have another chance here, Gravity.
Finds O'Neill. O'Neill wants it long, doesn't have anyone to go for. Trying to get free on the break side. Finds Dunn instead. Oh, unfortunate for the Valkyria player, but very well read by Sophie Farnan, who finds O'Neill on the sideline. Again, that big fake. Oh, well towed in by Claire Gilhini. Oh, breaks the mark on the inside to the center of the field. And we've got Anya Gilhini up the line, staring into the end zone. She's only got a few meters left for a goal. Swings round to Claire Gilhini. And it's into the end zone under a lot of pressure from Valkyria. Gravity have broken to make it 8-6.
Yeah, it's a fantastic offensive point for Gravity once they got the disc back for the second time. Anya Gilhini, Leanne O'Neill, Claire Gilhini, and Sinead Dunn all doing great work. Dunn is being marked by Eklund. No slouch, obviously. We talked about how great Eklund is, and Sinead Dunn getting free, moving the disc, playing really well here, doing a really admirable job both defensively and offensively when Gravity have the disc, and that's a huge break for Gravity. It seemed as though the Swedes had snatched the momentum away, but now Gravity back up by 2 points late on in this game.
Yeah, there is very little left. We'll see the clock in a minute, but let's have a look at this fantastic end zone offense from Gravity first. She gets so low. God, I'm amazed she held onto the disc through that much contact. We have 3 minutes left of this game. Gravity up 2 points. Valkyria needing to pull out some kind of Swedish miracle.
It looks as though both Gilhini's back on the field, so Anya coming across and playing D, Dunn's back out, O'Neill's back out. It's a very, very similar line, but they've just added Jane Linehan here, who's been a massive presence deep for this Gravity D line all tournament.
Valkyria looking deep, trying to find Ekborg. Oh, who lays out but can't quite keep it in hand. It's all clean, no call. So Gravity have a chance to really slam the door in Valkyria's face and lock out that bronze medal.
Anya Gilhini been centre handler for the Gravity offense all tournament, but turned into an absolute beast defensively as well, getting deep block after deep block here.
Oh, that's going to be high. It's going to be contested. Oh my God, Jane Linehan finds wings. Dumps it off safely, takes off deep. There's going to be a lot of bodies underneath it, and it's going to be caught by Claren, who finds Eklund on the far side, dishes it off to her sister. Looks upfield, Ekborg catches this one. Eklund, Verneiter. Verneiter throws it into space to be caught by a sliding Sophia Eklund. She's looking for the inside break, dumps safely back instead to Verneiter. Oh, lovely inside shots to Eklund, Ekborg, Eklund. Fakes the blade, throws a slightly shorter one to Sophia. And the time is over. Call goes as Eklund does a little give-go. She's on the front cone of the end zone, dumps it calmly back to Van Eiter. Losing ground here, but maintaining possession. Got Molly Robbins, big swing to the far side. Valkyria still swinging, find a shot upfield. And it's a big floaty disc. That's going to be caught with little celebration from the Swedes. They seem a little bit dejected. The rain's getting a little bit heavier, and I think this is now a game to 9.
The game looks as though has been called.
Oh, I see. There we go.
Which is a really, really rough go for Valkyria, because they've just scored to make this 8-7 to give themselves a great chance to get back into it. But unfortunately, the time cap has expired. But absolute joy for the Dubliners. That means that they get a bronze medal, their first medal in a European club competition.
And what an amazing feeling it must be. No wonder the Valkyria response to scoring that goal was so muted. And that's just got to be tough. I mean, I would have loved to watch a second half for that after this fantastic first half. I guess we will never know what would have happened if we had another 45 minutes. So we will leave with some highlights. I think we'll be back shortly with the mixed final, where Groot from the Netherlands will take on Salis Pils. We will be handing over to Benjamin Rees and Hannah Pendlebury. So for Sean Colfer, I've been Ali Thomas, and enjoy the finals.
ULTI.TV.